friends, it's Nancy, and it is day 7 of the craft along project, making a sewing themed journal. So I am following along as well. Sorry about the little shaky there. I'm making a junk journal that is a sewing theme, but it's grungy. So there's my cover. So doing the same pages as were on the video this morning at 7. So I've got myself a couple pages of scrapbook paper. And the first step was doing a tab at the top. So I've got some fabric pulled, and I want to add a little bit of lace. I can do 2 at the same time, can't I? And that's the fabric I'm going to use. Just need to square this up a smidgy. Okie pokey. There's that one. And for this one, nice. Okay, so I will stitch those when I next go to the sewing machine. And on the back, we're doing a textile pocket. So I've got this cotton lace with these roses woven into it, and I will just tack that down. Just to hold it, just enough to hold it until I sew it. So I hope your Friday is good. I'm looking forward to a weekend and just play, not have to work. No big plans. It is Mother's Day, but again, we're still on full lockdown for another 2 weeks, I think, at least. Who knows what'll happen at that point. Okay, so those 2 things need to be sewn. And then I'm going to make a tuck spot here. I'm going to use this image. So this is a picture. It came from a book of advertisement for dyes, diamond dyes, and I'm going to make a tuck spot out of this ad as well. So I need to grab a hunk of file folder. Okay, so I will pause while I do a little bit of sewing. Ah! Hang on. Maybe I don't have to pause quite yet. So those will be that tuck spot, and I want to make a couple of faux cabinet cards. For to tuck into the tuck spots. So these are images from books. I think this actually was a book about photography, but I'm not 100% sure right now. So I'm just gluing these onto a piece of book, like a fly leaf from a book, in order to sort of give a little bit of lift to the photo before I put it on the black card. Okay. Now I need, whoops, knocking stuff over here. And I'm just trimming off the white edge. Whoops, one. One more. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to ink this up a bit just to change the tone. The tone of the photograph, so it's a little more sepia rather than the black-white. Oh yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. Okay. There you go. And now I mean, they would fit like that. But I think I want a little more. So this is about just about 3.5 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut this I'm going to cut this I'm going to cut this we said 3.5, so I'm going to cut this 4. And if I mess this up, I got more where this came from. By it was 4 3/4. I'm going to go 5.5, so it leaves a little more of a margin at the bottom. So I should be 1/4 from the top, right and left, and 1/2 inch from the bottom. Okay. Perfect. Here's one. Let's double check the size of this one. Just about 3.5 by same size. Good enough. And oh, I cut that one too big. So it was 3.5 by 4. 4. 4, 4, 4. I got no excuse. I'm just terrible at this whole measure thing. Measure math. I might need to trim that side down a smidgeroony because it was almost 3.5 inches. So just to make that a little more symmetrical. There we go. Now, my thought was, I have these teeny tiny little envelopes. That on the I would put these teeny tiny envelopes on the back, and then they could be used as a tuck spot and a little envelope for, you know, to put little notes in or something. And these envelopes are already grungy. Got a little glue there. Okay, just needed to push it down a bit to straighten it out. Okay, so those are those two faux cards. And I want to make two more. Smaller ones for the other tuck spot. So these will be carte de visite sized. All right, I won't make you watch me make these because you've already seen the technique twice. So I'm going to pause and sew and finish these, and then I'll show you what I've come up with. Okay, that little chore is done. Everything is sewn. I've glued down this ad to make a pocket and tuck this little carte de visite in there. And then the cabinet card with the little grungy envelope on the back is tucked right in there. And I did add a couple of buttons on both. Okay, so next we were going to do a dictionary page. Instead of dictionary page, I chose some pages from a vintage book, and I had to reinforce it with some washi tape. And the title of the chapter is A Labor of Love, and I always think about sewing as a labor of love. So these are going to be our dictionary pages. Now, to make a double tag, this is Tim Holtz. So I am going to cut. Let's do this a little more mechanically minded. Okay. So I think I will I want to not cut the pictures up too much. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. Okay, there's one. I might be right off camera as I trim this. Sorry. All right. So I'm just going to trim some corners off. Okay. I think we need a little ink. And we also might need a little lace. Let's just face it. There's that little job done there. Yeah, I was thinking, like in my other two journals, I put a picture on the front of the double tag. And I don't want to cover up any of these drawings. I think they're great. But we have to do with something, a little something, something. So why not a little lace? Okay. It's got a teeny weeny tear in it. So I'm going to pause for now while I stitch this lace here on, and I'll come back and show you how I made it. All right, so I did sew around both sides of the tag, and to clip it to the page, I just tied a little piece of homespun fabric to this vintage paper clip and clipped it on there. So there's that. Next up was the textbook paper. So I used 2 pages from the Eaton's catalog, the vintage Eaton's catalog, and I reinforced the fold with some washi tape. And then I've got some paper that I need to trim down. Let's see if I remember. This was 5 3/4. This is for the lined paper. And the length was 8 9/8. Better double check. No, 8 3/4. Okay. Now, as I recall, I better double check this. There it is. It was just the collage on the front, right? Maybe I'll do one in the bottom, one in the top. I'm just thinking, should I reinforce this? It very likely wouldn't hurt. There's some workmen outside today. We're supposed to be, remember how we've had problems with the sewer? So they're out marking something, and we did get an email that the city is going to be digging up our front yard. And that the work should take about a week. So I don't know what that means in terms of how it's going to affect our lives. I know what it means in terms of there's a hole in my front yard for a week, but I guess plan for the worst, hope for the best. Hopefully it will mean no more issues with sewage backing up, because let me tell you, that is not fun. Okay. And just looking for, I mean, I don't have to do 3 pieces. This one's got a paisley on it as well. Okay, I feel in that one. This one be a little bigger. Looks good. Perfect. I don't remember how this was. Story of my life. Okay. All right. So we got a lot accomplished. I am going to do some stitching around these little bits, but you saw me do that hand stitching in the previous video, so I won't bore you with that again. I did get a question about where I got this ruler, this broken ruler. I don't know. I'm 99% sure I got it at Michael's. It's 8 inches long and 3 inches wide, and it has these little holes in them. Now, it's been a few years since I got this, and I did break it. I am going to try to glue it back together as soon as I figure out where I put my Gorilla Glue. And but I know Tim Holtz has a centering ruler that has holes in it that could be used the same way, or you could just like poke a hole every 1/4 inch by following a regular ruler. So I hope that's helpful. All right, come back tomorrow and we'll see what else is on my desk. Take care.